If it all worked out magically, I'm Chris Brogan, and we are talking to John Nemo about all things reputation and whatnot with LinkedIn. John, the reason I'm starting with the word reputation was I talked to some lady in San Francisco who worked for LinkedIn, and after I got done saying mean things about it on stage, she got to come up and speak. And, I said, it's not LinkedIn I hate, it's most of their users. And she said, well, most people get it wrong anyway. They think it's a resume management platform and not a reputation management platform. And I thought, my God, that's what John Nemo did with me. So John Nemo, by the way, is an expert in a lot of fields. He runs a PR organization. He's done all kinds of stuff. He's an author. He wrote a book called LinkedIn Riches. And the way we met was that you reached out to me and said, hey, I've been working with some of your friends, and boy, can I make your profile look awesome and change it for business? And it really did work. So I'll start there. But John, why don't you explain how you describe yourself, I guess, and then we can get into the rest of the storyline.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Chris. So basically the backstory for me was I started out like a lot of people, had the day job, got tired of it, wanted to be more entrepreneurial, started my own marketing agency. And in the beginning, I didn't have a lot of clients. And so I was bootstrapping, trying to find my way around to find clients, and really stumbling into LinkedIn. Like a lot of people thought of it just as a resume platform or, job kind of seeker stuff, but then saw this powerhouse available on there with B2B marketing and realizing, wow, I've got, I do B2B marketing, B2B services. I've got everybody in one place. I can find them. I can engage with them. There's this incredible value here. And so within 90 days, I was able to, do six figures in business for myself, build this huge platform, start generating a ton of leads and revenue for my business. And what that turned into is then them hiring me to do LinkedIn campaigns for them. Thus came the book LinkedIn Riches and the training courses and everything else. So now what I spend full time on is teaching people really how to use LinkedIn to get leads, to get clients, to get revenue. And what's really exciting is, in addition to, reaching out to people like you and, kind of trying to help the big shots on the platform, also I've worked with people, I think, in like 50 different industries. So everybody from like a pest control services guy in the United Kingdom to like an architect in San Francisco. And that's why I'm so bullish on LinkedIn, is it really does work in any industry. So that's, here we are, we're talking, and I love how people have reacted to your profile, because they're like, wow, how do you do this? And it's just exciting because when you start to get LinkedIn like you did and start to use it, then you see, great results, great wins. So yeah, I'm excited to be here with you, man.
It's day and night, to sound all testimonially or whatever. It is day and night, between what I had going on over there and what I have now. And, I consider myself a pretty good writer. I'm on my 9th book. I'm pretty good at this stuff. But all the changes that you gave me were all things that, in retrospect, make such great sense. In foresight, I had nothing. I was absolutely, clueless beyond belief. But I can tell you that the number of people, trying to follow me, trying to connect with me, reading through my posts and driving action through even just using LinkedIn Pulse is huge. Like, it's really changed dramatically. And, I would love to say it's because I'm Chris Brogan, but it's not, because I was still Chris Brogan the week before and nothing was happening. And then next thing you know, John Nemo like tidies this stuff up, and and when I say tidy, I mean you put a lot of work into that. What's the process like in general for people? And you can use me as an example, or if it's better to use somebody else, that's fine. But when you get in there and do your dental hygiene on someone's LinkedIn profile, what's that like?
I get that hook and I come in, I'm like, all right, hold still, open wide. This is really the biggest thing. The biggest thing is just a mindset shift with LinkedIn. So going from viewing it as a resume, where we were really trained by LinkedIn when it first started to upload a resume, to talk about ourselves in the third person like a pro athlete does, right? Chris Brogan is the author of such hits as. But what I really wanted to do with your profile, Chris, and with everyone that I work with and through my LinkedIn trainings, is make it what I call client facing and very cut to the chase, what's in it for my ideal client. So like the first line of most profiles, what I want to see in your summary area in all capital letters is what I do, right? And then I help, and then you put in your ideal audience. I help this type of audience achieve, and then their type of goal or whatever, by providing my service. So in my case, for example, what I do, I help sales professionals generate more leads on LinkedIn by providing LinkedIn training and books. For you, it might be I provide, clients ranging from Google to Disney down to everyday entrepreneurs, business advice by, providing online training and courses and keynote speaking. And so what I do when I train people is just start there. Start with what do I do? Who do I serve? And really understand when you turn your LinkedIn profile around like that, you're differentiating yourself from 90% of people on LinkedIn, 95 to 99, maybe even that high, because nobody does it. Most people still have it reading like a profile. And to quote our great personal friend, Dale Carnegie, even though he's been dead for 60 years, he's our personal friend, right? Your audience doesn't care about you. They care about themselves morning, noon, and dinner. They don't care where you went to school. They don't care what awards you've won. They don't care what your resume says. All I care about when I land on Chris Brogan's profile is what can he do for me? Oh, wait, he's got a course on content marketing and I need help with that? Oh, he's got a course on how to sell with webinars? Oh, I'm interested in that. I don't care that he's won accolades. And when you reframe it that way, it just does wonders for your lead generation because people are like, oh, yeah, I do want to connect. I do want to read more of your stuff. And then even just some of the stuff, Chris, like with your publishing where we put in little calls to action in the LinkedIn blogging platform to lead people over because like, with content marketing, I read it, I like it, I want more. And like you were just talking on your last blab was get them on your email list, convert them. And LinkedIn is great for that stuff. I got a lot of more goodies I'm going to share. But I don't want to keep rambling.
Yeah, well, and by the way, I love and appreciate all of that, you've shared. I mean, you wrote this book called LinkedIn Riches. You've translated that into more because what you and I both come to realize is that there's times when you can just read some books, and then there's time where you want to go through a system. And what's really cool is that you were able to offer this cool free webinar, and we'll promote that a little bit. It's linkedinriches.com/Brogan. So I'll just put a link into there, riches.com/Brogan. And, you schedule these over time to do some free webinar work. But I mean, people are just getting a lot of payoff out of that experience. I've had so many people go through the process and I think we had one whole return and it was mostly just because it wasn't the right time for them. Everybody else was just like, oh man, this is absolutely what I needed to get done. And I love that experience. I love knowing that we're able to help some people. One question about the whole process as well is when you decided to do this, I mean, obviously these kinds of things don't immediately come about. You know what I mean? People don't immediately stumble into magic of figuring out LinkedIn. Plus the platform's changed a lot in the last bunch of years. What was your sort of magic moment that way? Like, what was your holy crap, I had no idea this is what I was going to find myself doing.
Yeah. So, back to, I still remember it was fall of 2012. I quit my day job on election day 2012 and everybody's like, you're crazy. And I was leaving a day job where I was making six figures, 120 grand a year, throwing it all to the wind to start my own business, live the laptop lifestyle. And in those first 90 days, I had one client when I jumped and then really seeing LinkedIn, believing what I had there was unique, the way to generate leads and stuff. In that first 90 days, I made 135 grand. So I already eclipsed my salary from a whole year before. I'm like, okay, I got something. This really works. And so in the 3 years since then, to your point, that's right. I mean, I wrote the book, I think, in 2013, and I intentionally made the LinkedIn Riches book very strategy heavy, or as George W. Bush would say, strategery. We're going to smoke them out. We're going to find those leads on LinkedIn, Brogan. We're going to smoke them out. That's pretty good, isn't it? All right. So I'm an amateur voice comedian. Don't worry. I'll be here all minute.
I'll be okay.
Thank you very much. Fool me once, shame on you. Okay. So then I was like, I can't re-release the book every 3 months when LinkedIn decides to change something. So that's why I created the course on the website, linkedinriches.com, and really followed a model that you've pioneered, frankly, which was create a ton of really valuable free content, build an email list, be helpful, and reach out to others. And it's just kind of gone from there where now I can provide value and I feel great about it and get these people coming back to me going, yeah, I tried one tip with a personalized message and got a lead right away. Can it really be that easy? And it's like, yeah, I can. Because when you provide people with what they're looking for in the right context, the right format, then it makes it easy for you to run your business. So go ahead.
Oh, no. I mean, I was just thinking through that process. I mean, what's it's funny. So I'm blessed now since doing this work with you to get a lot of linked requests. And what I did the first time I had LinkedIn was I said yes to everybody. Right. I immediately made the system useless to myself because it turns out that I probably should say yes mostly to prospects and second maybe to allies in my use of the platform. What's interesting is I can tell in a heartbeat who has no idea what to do and who could most benefit from spending time with you, just by what's in the little summary of what they, next to their little human head.
Yeah.
That's always the funniest part to me. The second part is that it goes so much more beyond just your profile. I was just looking in my inbox in LinkedIn because I forget to, and there's a message from you saying, I've got this great tip for you. I click it and I'm suddenly sunk into this great storyline that probably went by in your, you wrote it probably a day or two ago, but because you were kind enough to email to me, it really felt like something helpful. It was how you worded it. It was how you phrased it. I mean, this is the kind of stuff you're teaching people, right?
Yeah, and what's really funny, Chris, was I used a little strategery on that. I didn't even know you were on that list, which is awesome because it came into you. It came into you as a one-on-one message, and it's
sure did.
There's a whole cottage industry, and I'll start naming and sharing links to some of these. There's a whole cottage industry of hacks and add-ons for LinkedIn that you can use. One of my favorite new ones is called LinMail Pro. I'll type that in. It's called I know the guy. It's LinMail Pro. He's on LinkedIn. His name is Lori Tubb. Look him up. But what it is it's a system that, like you said, Chris, you have all these contacts coming in. And this is one of the number one questions I get is, I got 3,000 contacts. What do I do with these people, right? Because I have people who might be authors. I have small business owners. I have, religious people. I can't just send them all the same stuff. So what I'm doing with LinkedIn is, using their tag system, or in Minnesota, we say tag, right? I got to work with my Minneapolis accent. We're going to tag them, okay? So what I do is I tag all my contacts. I got thousands of them. And I tag them by people who want sales and marketing advice, small business owners, entrepreneurs, whatever. And so you were in one of those groups. Actually, you're in the Big Shot tag. That's true.
I feel big shot-ish.
You should be honored. I have a tag called Big Shots. And it's like you, John Morgan, John Lee Dumas, Jarek Robbins, all these guys. And so what I do with LinMail Pro is, I can pull up LinkedIn, I can look at my connections, click on connections, sort by tag, and sort by, say, entrepreneurs, right? Or sales leads people. And then what I do is I can open up a new tab, and I can't screen share it. I'll make a video to show people how. But it basically will send each person that I've put in that queue, 500 people, whatever it is, a one-on-one LinkedIn message personalized with their name and a link to my piece of content. And there's no sales pitch in there at all. It's basically saying, hey, Chris, I know you've been publishing on LinkedIn, thought you might find this helpful. Here's a link to a post on how to get featured on LinkedIn Pulse. And that's probably the one you saw, right?
That's the one I saw.
And it was an interview I did. I tracked this guy down in Hungary who wrote a whole book about how to get featured on LinkedIn Pulse. He analyzed like 15,000 blog posts on LinkedIn, nerded out on the data. And then I interviewed him and was like, hey, there's some serious takeaways here. And it's working. It's getting me featured on LinkedIn Pulse. And for people that don't know what that is, LinkedIn basically has these huge news channels. They want to become the world's go-to source for professional content. So if you write on, B2B sales, or if you write on real estate, or if you write on any of these different topics, they'll feature you. It's basically like their own little news service. And think about the amount of leads you get with that. Because on LinkedIn, again, with each post Chris Brogan writes, he can click who viewed my post. He gets instant analytics. Here are the names and faces of people that liked it, that shared it, that commented. If you have a follow-up system in place, then you can instantly send each one of them a message that says, hey, I'm glad you liked my post on real estate. You might want to go get my free ebook on it. Boom, they're on your list, right? Or so on and on we can go.
Yeah. No, I love it. I love it. John, by the way, the people who are actually watching us record this live, and I feel bad for people who get this recording later, but obviously it'll work for them. They're saying that when they go to the link that I gave them, linkedinriches.com/Brogan, they're seeing something that says it's expired and they can't check out the webinar. But when I'm checking it, it's like, hey, you could go anytime, hang out with me. Like I click register now. This is different than everyone else, evidently.
Let me check. I'm going to pull it up here.
I can see Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
All right. Give them, here, I'm going to put a new link in. LinkedInriches.com/webinar.
Okay.
And that, because the Brogan one is supposed to reroute to the LinkedInriches.com/webinar.
All right.
See if that works.
Yeah. Sorry, everybody. Mine says September, and I feel so awesome. But,
yeah, see, I don't know what happened.
Not as lucky as us.
And it should show up dates Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, because I have webinars coming up.
You had a little bit of time available, so I appreciate that. Thanks for making that available to people. One of the things I want to tell people who are paying attention is, so I do very little promotion of this kind of a project. This is, I know 3 people in the world that I trust with LinkedIn, period. I know very few people that I want to say, hey, I'm going to put you in this person's hands because I trust this person's going to get something done. And it's going to be useful to you. What's really good about what I've heard back, I mean, 100% of people who I sent in the direction of John Nemo had great things to say.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's, and that almost never happens because I love a lot more people than evidently are lovable. I don't know what it is, but I'll say this person's great, and someone will come back and go, I don't know why you like that person.
That's an idiot.
Yeah. But everybody loves you, and everyone has said nothing but like amazing experience from that webinar. And the people who have gone further and taken the course, I mean, my gosh, I feel like in a way I'm sort of making competitors, because I'm giving them the same tools, so they're going to know these things. So I don't know, but
let me tell you something, though, for everybody listening, and this is unsolicited. I'm working with a lot of big shots right now, and there's more profiles. I've done profiles for some really big names. Some have given me permission to share publicly. Some have not. A couple that I'll get their permission later, but people at Chris's level, I'm doing a lot of this. I mean, strategically reaching out, and I will tell everyone listening and anyone who knows Chris, he is, honest to God, the easiest, nicest, most humble big shot I've ever met. I mean, seriously, for somebody with your platform, your success, I was talking to my business coach, our friend John Morgan, about you, and he's like, yeah, that's just Brogan. And I'm like, why? Like, you just treat everybody really well. I mean, you met me as a nobody. You gave me time. I brought you value. We have a good relationship now. But there's a lot of other big shots who act like big shots. So what's your secret, man? How come you're not an egomaniacal crazy man?
I don't know. I just feel like I'm like everyone else. I pay someone to put my pants on one leg at a time. I'm very...
You wearing pants? You're an internet mogul.
Not really. I'm wearing shorts. I don't want to lie, but, I'm getting ready to go to the gym after this. So everything right below the waist is not so, grand. But, I think it's just... I don't know. I've had the rare occasion where I've had a chance to meet someone that I thought I was going to love, and they were a jerk to me.
Yeah.
And I just thought, what? I just never am going to be that guy. Like, I think everyone's so worth it. I'm looking down the stream of people that are in this room, and I've met a huge number of you. And the ones that I haven't met yet, I can't wait to meet you. And to me, it's just like, how lucky can I be? So I'm never, ever going to seem fancy or whatever. And, it's kind of hard to hold your pinky up drinking Diet Coke. And, if you knew all the work that I got to get done, I've got laundry to do. Like, I've got the least sexy chores in the world in front of me. So it's pretty easy not to feel like, not anybody fancy, John.
And you've taught me a lot, man, because I'm trying to get my business, just like everybody else here, to the A-list level, to the bigger level. And I've met a lot of people who are teaching me how not to act if you get there. And I've learned from you. That's why Brogan, and that's John Morgan said to me, he goes, that's why Brogan's Brogan, because he's never changed. He's still the same guy that he was tweeting out in 2008. And I just, kudos to you. So,
well, all right. Now we've made out with each other for a while. You got to go to linkedinriches.com/Brogan or linkedinriches.com/webinar. And that'll be the end of the recording part. John, I'm going to get us off recording, but if you can stick around for a few minutes, I bet we have some good Q&A going on. All right. Thanks.